played right here in the KLPGA. Today, of course, is day 2 of the WEMIX Championship, and we've got the A-listers in here, and by that I truly mean those that made the grid to chase that standing for the best golfer in the women's circuit in Korea. So we've got 12 golfers in there. I was 12 against 12 yesterday. 12 landed into the B zone, and 12, of course, in the A-listers. Kim Soo-ji, one of them. Let's also remind you that this contest is out of the normal calendar or the schedule, where you have the competitive contest. And yes, Park Yoon-kyung, one of my favorite golfers. I absolutely love the elegance and the skill that she brings to the golf course. Two of my favorites did dip out yesterday, Park Min-ji and Yoon Ina. But I've still got Hwang Yoo-min in there. I do love watching these golfers. I've watched them from the start of their careers. Park Yoon-kyung doing well to place that approach shot fairly decently. Now let's look at it clearly. We are coming at you live from the Hyundai Beach Golf and Resort in Gyeonggangun, Busan. It's a very, very nice day. Temperature has been, well, at about 17 degrees Celsius. Very, very pleasant. A little bit chilly because of the wind draft, and you can see that a few people have their pullovers on. Roh Seung-gui teeing off at hole number 9. So currently, as we look at it, 17 degrees Celsius, 42% relative humidity, but the wind speeds are high, 40 kilometers per hour. Air quality is moderate. It's not as good as it was yesterday, but keeping that in mind, the golfers have a few challenges, and now it's going to boil down to which of these golfers actually love thriving on challenges. There are some golfers who play great when conditions are normal, and there are some golfers that really shine when you've got obstacles. So let's find out today what happens in this contest and who will be Queen Bee of the KLPGA in the WEMIX Championship. By So-yoon teeing off for hole number 9. She's carrying a 4 under score. It looks like it just might have hit the woods. We are going to get a look at it a little bit later. So she gets a stroke penalty there. She's going to go in with a second tee off. It's a bit unfortunate. Kim-min-sun 7 yesterday was at the peak of her powers as she got past the favorite Yoon Ina. Teeing off here with a 9-iron for hole 10. I do love that Volvo, absolutely beautiful car. Oh, that is a fantastic tee off. An absolutely fantastic tee off. Meanwhile, by So-yoon. Tees off for hole number 9. Remember, it's an exotic hole, great countryside. Better to target to the left of the fairways, and that's exactly what she's done. There's an uphill slope for the approach shot. She's got to be careful of that. Lee Ga-young. Oh, what a narrow miss. What a narrow miss here. Lee Ji-young now for hole number 9. Will aim for birdie. That's going to narrowly skip past the tin cup, but she should be able to nail that nice and easy. So She finishes with an even score, 133 on the front nine. Kim Soo-ji, well, did get herself well closer to the pathway. I think the official just checking which is the spot she'll be able to, or where the ball might have landed first before it bounced off there. There's always a slight depression. It's a bit tough. It's almost like forensics in a crime scene, isn't it?
여기까지 벗어나서 이쪽으로 오세요. 네. 네. 잠깐만요. 예. 거기 잡으세요.
So Kim Soo-ji will get a decent spot.
네.
That's decent enough, I would say. Lee Dong-gyun aiming for birdie. Oh, that's just gonna fall shy of hitting the tin cup. Bit unfortunate there. By So-yoon, gets herself out of the thick. Kim Soo-ji, she's certainly gone through the motions here today. We'll look to find her way out of the woods. Third stroke for hole 8. Do keep in mind the fact that she's the leader. Well, that's landed decently well, but I think she just might land up bogeying that one. And that isn't going to be, well, too good for her. She's currently the leader. And I think it's very important to see how well she plays this out. Beautifully done, though. Beautifully done to get herself out of the woods, literally. By So-yoon. Her approach shot this time for hole 9. Not the closest, but I think that's going to be close enough for her for the time being. Kim-min-sun 7 just missing out on a birdie on hole 10. Wang Yu-min Also just going to miss out on a birdie, and these are those challenging moments when you really want to, well, try and do as much as you can to make it count. And another miss here. Park Hyun Kyung will go on next. Ryo Seung-hui will aim for birdie on hole number 9. And that's well struck. Ryo Seung-hui finishes with 35 on the front 9. She's carrying a 1 under score. And here's Lee Ga-yong teeing off at hole number 10. That's where that beautiful car is. I'd love to sit in it and drive away, while the golfers will go about their own version of the drive. Kim Soo-ji aiming to do her level best. By Soyun next, looks to finish on par for hole 9, 4.1 meters to the hole. And that's just going to skip past it, which means she will land up bogeying that. And Kim Soo-ji will be glad to finish that. And that's the first bogey, takes her down to a 5 under. It's only 8 holes done, so she's still got herself right on top there. Park Hyun Kyung will do well here.
완전 스매시 타버리대. 아니, 한걸 봤는데 나도. 근데 끝에서는 안 탈 것 같았는데 우리 플라시 타버리네.
Quick word there with their caddies. It's a very different setting here, as you can see. It's a colorful event. The purple and the cream or off-white combination. I did mention this yesterday. I have a synthetic shaving brush handle which has that same combination, and strangely yesterday it just reminded me of it. But I do love that combination very much. It's also a very nice event in the sense that the golfers tend to be more relaxed and easy, unlike the actual events in a calendar or in a schedule. So with 2024 having finished off, the season getting over with the SK Telecom Open, which was won by Mada Som, who actually failed to make the cut or just slipped out on making the cut for, the A-listers today. This event is really about who will finish as the top ranking golfer. So very, very interesting to see how this really pans out.
안정했습니까 그때? 자세히 나기 뒤는 떨어진대. 아 이렇게
Not the fanciest of efforts, but I think she'll take it in a stride here. Kim-Min-Sun 7, she was flying yesterday. Very, very focused, very, very intense. And that's going to be a narrow miss. Lee Ga-young's had her own share of worries. She'll be glad just to get it over and done with for the time being.
볼 보세요. 볼.
The officials just making sure that things are done. Lee Dong-gyun, her approach shot for hole 11. Got herself at a bit of a distance. She's normally good. She lands it plumb next to the tin cup. But there are always days where things could change. And as you can see, most of the golfers, the reason why they've got, pullovers on or polos is because it's about 17 degrees, as I said earlier. And that'll be good enough for Lee Ji-young. She starts off with an on par on hole number 10.
박형경이 화이팅!
Wang Yu-min. Will be seen later on in the contest, but right now it's Park Hyun-kyung. Will tee off for hole number 9. It's a good bit of a wallop in that. And that's well played. Kim Soo-ji. She's off for hole number 9. She's still the leader in today's event. Now, do remember that yesterday, while the pairs were pitted against each other in terms of how they would tie on the basis of finishing each hole, today it's every golfer for themselves. So we've got a dozen in the mix. I'm going to call this not the dirty, but the dynamic dozen. If it was the lads, we could have put it to that. But the dynamic dozen, and it's left to be seen who really, scales the heights of greatness here. Roh Seung-hui will tee off for hole number 10. Remember, it's a par 3 for the asking. She's gone in with an 8 iron. It's a fairly tricky hole, but if you land yourself into a good spot on the green, you pretty much nailed it. Now, it depends on where the distance is from the flagstick, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge to earn a birdie for her, but you can never say on the day. Most golfers do tend to, shine. Kim-Min-Sun 7 will aim for birdie on hole number 11. It's quite a distance. She's got to navigate through, well, a bit of uneven surface. There's a slight slope upwards and then it slopes down. And that was always going to be a tricky shot. There's no doubt about it. By So-Yoon, tees off for hole 10. Lee Dong-gyun will go next. She's had her own share of stuff to deal with.
저희 갤러리 코스 진입하지 말고 밖으로 나가주세요.
Park In-kyung getting ready.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Almost looked like a baseball swing there that followed through this time. It's at quite a distance from the tin cup. Not really the best shot here for Park In-kyung.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Kim Soo-ji, her approach shot for hole number 9. Once again, most of the golfers really aiming to land it closer to the flagstick, but that's been a bit of a, I think, an obstacle for them. They've been getting it only close enough, more towards the outer part of the carpet. Now, yes, Kim-Min-Sun 7 has to finish on par for hole number 11. She's carrying a 2 under. Not too much of a worry there. She was in flying form yesterday, and sometimes you worry whether you peak too early in a contest or not. Just to remind you once again, my name is Glenn Mascarenas, and I'm taking you through this event. I'm going to be with you right till the end when we find out who will be Queen Bee of the KLPGA 2024. An amazing list of golfers here, the best 12 of the year. Roasting Bee aiming for birdie on hole 10, and that ball's just going to stubbornly move away. Bai So-Yun will aim for birdie on hole 10. Remember, that could take her up to a 4 under. Kim Soo-ji leads the way with 5 under, and it's very important for Bai So-Yun, to bring out her best. And that just curved in, didn't it? At the right time, so she's up to a 4 under. Bai So-Yun is also bringing it to the contest. I do love the fact she always wants a fist bump. She did have an eagle in there as well as a bogey, so she's been fairly strong today. Do love that setting. You've got those tables set up there with those umbrellas all over, and that's fairly close to the clubhouse. The golfers, of course, do get to sit down, tally their points, do a lot of bits and bobs. But as it currently stands, Kim Soo-ji is still very much in the lead here. And Bai So-Yun and Park behind her with 4 under and tied second. And then in Lee Dong-gyun, Lee Ga-yong, Lee Jae-yong with 3 under. Ji Han-sol, Kim Minsun 7 and Seo Yoo-jin are in tied 7th with unfortunately through 10 holes has still got an even score, and that's what happens to her on some days. She does shine on one day, and then the next day, of course, finds it a bit of a struggle. Now she's got 8 holes left to play for, and she has to pick herself up. Is she going to get 8 consecutive birdies? Well, that's a big question, isn't it? But I've seen in recent contests, especially in the SK Telecom, where if I'm not mistaken, one of the golfers had about 4 or 5 consecutive birdies, then a break with an even score, and then 2 birdies again. So you never really know how things pan out till Lee Ji-young, but contest to win. So the WEMIX Championship, we're looking at 12 golfers who made it through out of the 24. That's and day 2, of course, is the goes sitting around with their picnic mats, some beverage, a little bit of refreshment, sandwiches, snacks as well, gimbap, which I totally love. I see so much of it often. So it's been a very, very nice, easy day, and this is the kind of day golfers get to probably meet them. It's an easier time. The golfers aren't so stressed as they should be. Now that B list, currently Park Min-ji, Yoo Hyun-jo, and Yoon E-na lead the way with 6 under, and they are in tied 13th. Choi Min-kyung and Jong Yoon-ji with 5 under and tied 16th. Choi Yi-rim and Lee Won, are on tied 18th with 4 under, and Jun Yi-sung with 3 under on 20. Kim Min-byul and Mada Som order in tied 21 with 2 under, and Park Ju-young and Bang Shin-sil are currently with 1 over, and they sit in the 23rd position. Interesting contest as you look at it, because what we're looking at is we're looking at the first and second place finishers, and then of course you're looking at the runner-up or the second runner-up, and that I guess would come from the final B list. So do stay with us, don't go anywhere as we continue with our coverage of the WEMIX Championship. As I said earlier, we are coming at you live. Beach Golf and Resort, which is based right here in Gyeonggangun, Busan. It's been a fairly easy day, just in mind the fact that it's just about a 10 minutes drive from the Busan National Science Museum, or more importantly, if you're close to the school, the Hangyo Confucian School is also 10 minutes drive from here. Lovely mountain settings. We've got the ocean side as well, so it's the mountain course and the ocean course that are normally taken into account. Here's Park Hyun Kyung. Well, that could have been it. Aiming for birdie on hole 9. Almost does it for Park Hyun Kyung. Kim Soo-ji at the other end, aiming for birdie on hole 9. And she's got fairly close to the target. We'll have to clean it up with an even score. I don't think it should be too much of a worry as long as she doesn't bogey like she did the previous one. She's kept herself in good stead. And she's got Park Hyun Kyung on next. Meanwhile, here's Seo Yoo-jin carrying a 2 under score. Oh, that is a fantastic approach shot. Absolutely stunning approach shot from her. And she's given us so many of those, the past couple of contests. Meanwhile, here's Park Hyun Kyung. And she'll settle for an even score as well. Over to Lee Ga-young.
됐다. 아예. 오 됐다. 그렇지.
Lee Dong-gyun onto a second stroke for hole 12. It's very important that her approach shot is right. She's got the knack of landing the shots pretty well, but there are days. So she'll sit on the shoulder of that green. Looks like that slope might have just carried it onto the rough. Well, to be fair, the surfaces, the carpet area is not really as daunting or as challenging as some of the courses that we've seen in the last couple of months. This is a beach resort golf course where golfers from all around the world, come to play for leisure, business meetings. I have a couple of good mates of mine who travel from, New Zealand, Australia, India, and even the United States to come down here. And when they come in for meetings, in Incheon, they'll end up coming to this golf course for some reason. It's very relaxing. It's not as challenging as the other courses. It's also more closely knit, as in, from hole to hole. So it just makes it a tad bit easier for them to commute when on the course without tiring themselves out to the bone. Let's figure out, how this pans out for our ladies here, because that whole amount of stress, that whole amount of pressure on your shoulders, is lifted here, because here you're really playing for, who is the topmost golfer in the country. And it's not really about that calendar. It's not about those points that amount to whether you'll qualify for the next event or not. It's an entirely different equation. This is a fun contest which has a serious result. So the golfers really can enjoy themselves without having that pressure. I mean, you noticed that yesterday, so much of camaraderie between the golfers. Park Min-ji and Park Ji-young. What a fantastic contest that went down to the wire before Park Ji-young made it through. It's Lee Ga-young back again, aiming for birdie on hole number 11.
나이스 버디!
And she will be thrilled. She will be thrilled to knock that in. That's a fourth birdie. It also takes her up to a 4 under. Still 7 holes to play for. Park Hyun-kyung teeing off for hole number 10. Well, I don't think she's got herself exactly where she wanted it, but she will have to work for that birdie. Lee Ji-young will aim for birdie on hole 11. Well, that would have been such a fantastic finish, but she'll have to clean it up with an on par. That's exactly what she does. Decent enough approach shot. Remember, she had got herself just off the green. All eyes on Kim Soo-ji, who won the Height Championship on the 6th of October. Since then, she's been on the upswing, making her presence felt in the final round of all the events, and almost actually winning the SK Telecom event before she kind of dipped out towards the last 4 holes. So she's the informed golfer here. Well, so was Mara Som, who really excelled, towards the latter part of the year. So tee off at hole number 10. She's got Park Ji-young for company. Birdie there on hole 11. She's moved up to a 3 under. Kim-min-sun 7. That's a beautiful birdie from her, finding form back again. The same form that she had yesterday. She's up to a 3 under as well. So this contest is beginning to heat up slowly. That's the standing still. Kim Soo-ji will leading the way with Lee Ga-young, Bai So-hyun, Park Hyun-kyung, well, in a tied second, and they're very close to the top. Kim Minson 7, Seo Yujin, and Lee Dong-gyun with Lee Ji-yong are in tied fifth, with Ji-han Sol in ninth, Ro Chung-wee and Park Ji-yong in tied 10th. Wang Yumin, of course, is on an even score. She's through hole number 10. Beautiful view of the ocean front. You can see a sailboat or a small little boat out there. I do love scenes like this. As a child, could sit on that and, you know, always wish that I could paint it, but I couldn't. I had an aunt who used to paint landscapes, and I just accompany her. It's one of the most beautiful, calming things to be sitting here in front of a calm sea when the sea, of course, is not so calm. It's an entirely different story, but I do love a setting like this. You can see, you know, whether those are buoys or there's a fishing net there. It looks like a fishing net to me that is cast. It's quite interesting. Back to nature, back to the good old life. Having said that, residential areas in and around these spots are fairly expensive. You pay a premium for, you know, the peace and tranquility that you find here. Well, if you get into the main Busan city area, there's a lot of buzz. It's kind of a little bit like Incheon. Always activity in there. But if you move down to places like probably, you know, Jeongju or Jeju, more of the outside, that tranquility and peace back again. I do love those areas. Big fan of Jeonju. Been there a couple of times. So still an interesting contest here. Stay with us, don't go anywhere as we continue with the WEMIX Championship. And Park Ji-young will claim that. There's no doubt about it. Well, with the signature too. And our golfers, of course, will have their signatures on it. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? And I do wonder whether that does remain as a keepsake, or will it be, sold as kind of a memento, auctioned off? I don't know. Would love to find out. Lee Ga-young onto a second stroke. Dong-gyun next. Her second for hole number 13. And she's going to keep that going as best as she can. There's Bai So-yoon teeing off for hole number 12.
카메라 미리 좀 눌러주세요.
Park Hyun-kyung will go next.
거기 앞에 나오세요.
Park Hyun-kyung really trying to test the waters here. She's going to be very keen to do her level best, pick up what she can in this event. Because if she can finish, well, Queen of the Heap, it's going to be a fairly interesting affair. Lee Ji-young now. Third stroke for hole number 12, was aiming for birdie. Kim-min-sun 7 needs to scale past that thicket there. Her approach shot for hole 13 is important, 93 meters to the hole. Kim Soo-ji will tee off for hole number 11. Lee Ga-young does fairly well. She's just one of those golfers who flies under the radar for some time and then can just pick it up, you know, towards the end of the contest. She really did shine very bright, had a fantastic contest at the Lotte Open on the 7th of July. And, well, the young lady who does love the fist bump more than anyone else here. Well, it's interesting as we get on, and as you have that mini exodus now that's going to follow the golfers all through, family, friends, and fans who've turned up here. I do like this golf course. It's one of those that's so easily accessible, and for amateur golfers, it does make quite a good circuit by itself. It's not one of those, as I said, challenging or daunting courses that you come across. By So-Yoon. She's a joint leader with 5 under onto her second stroke, 99 meters for her approach shot. It's going to be interesting to see how she can navigate through this. She's done fairly well. Kim-Min-sun 7. Aiming for birdie. She will fall shy of it. Park Hyun-kyung now with her approach shot for hole 11. It's a good bit of lift on that. That ball's going to roll fairly close enough. I think she could work through this one. Notice that most golfers in this event have had a slight bit of a problem with getting in the ball from a distance, but Park Ji-young had such a sublime birdie yesterday when she got past Park Min-ji. That was the closing moment of that of the second last hole that they played on hole 18, and then of course Park Min-ji would have also nailed the birdie. So it just turned out that Park Ji-young said, let's just go and play the 19th hole, and they did that, where Park Ji-young of course happened to win it. Kim Soo-ji led the way for quite a bit before she dipped into her feet into a bogey. Here she is with her approach shot, needs to scale past those waters. Joint leader with 5 under, the second stroke. Decently placed, Gets close to where Park Hyun-kyung is. Slightly closer to the tin cup than a counterpart. And elsewhere, here's Lee Dong-gyun aiming for birdie on hole 13. That's well done. A nice, elegant and easy shot. 4 birdies in there now with 1 bogey. As she birdies the 13th. There's Park Ji-young. Second stroke for hole 11, and that's decently placed. Did not use too much of club on that. So Kim Soo-ji, Park Ji-young and Park Hyun-kyung making their way through. Interesting contest here with these young ladies. Bai So-yoon and Kim Soo-ji now at the top with 5 under. Lee Dong-gyun, Lee Ga-young and Park Hyun-kyung continue to be in tied third with 4 under. Kim Min-sun 7, Seo Yoo-jin and Lee Ji-young in tied 6th with 3 under. And then there's Ji Han Sol in 9th And Ryo Seung-ri and Park Ji-young in tie 10th, while Wang Yumin props up the rest of the order here. Looking at the final B list, of course, there's Yoo Hyun Jo and Yoon Na who've topped it so far with 7 under. Park Min Ji in that 15th position with 6 under. Then Choi Min Kyung have 5 under in tied 16th. Lee Won is in 19th. Mara Som 20th with 3 under. Kim Min Byul, Jun Yi Sung are 2 under in tied 21st. Bang Shin Sil is on an even score in 23rd. And Park Ju-young sits at the bottom of the heap with a 1 over score, and she's actually finished well her day's event. Here's Park Hyun Kyung aiming for birdie on hole 11. Just a gentle push and she's done well. She knew that was going to find its way through when she's up to 5 under now as a joint leader. And that smile on the face says it all. So 7 holes more to play for Park Hyun Kyung. By Soyun, will aim for birdie on hole number 12. It's going to be a bit difficult for her. Getting a view of how things stand here, and that's Kim Soo-ji. If she nails a birdie on hole 11, she can still ascend to the top. And what a narrow miss. Well, just had a good mate, Park Hyun Kyung, nail a birdie here. Bai So-yun looks to finish on par for hole 12. And yes, she does. Not a worry at all for her. Park Hyun Kyung gets the honors to tee off. And that's for hole number 12. Currently the joint leader. Bit of a wallop in there from her. I think she's done well.
자, 거기 앞에 가지 마세요. 앞에 가지 마세요.
Lee Ga-yong, it's always going to be difficult for her to achieve a birdie from that. Meanwhile, Chung Yoon-ji will finish off with 5 under, 30 on the front, 37 on the back. Not a bad finish, but she'll have to wait and see how the others perform here today. Kim Soo-ji. Just packing in a good bit of wallop into that. She wants to get herself as far onto the fairways as she can. I think that was important for her. I do like the way that Kim Soo-ji has gone about her business for most part of this event. It's been very, very interesting. Lee Ga-yong looking to finish on par for hole 13. That's going to sail away, which means it just puts her in a bit of an issue as far as the points are concerned. She'll clean it up with the bogey there, 3 under for her as she gets past hole 13. Bai So-yun giving the ball the whip. Chun Yi-sung aiming for birdie on hole 18, and that's just slipped out. Bit unfortunate for her here. She's up against Park Min-ji. We're looking at the B-listers now. Interesting. Very interesting there from Chun Yi-sung as she finishes with 35 on that back 9 and a 2 under score. Here's Park Min-ji. Just a narrow miss for her. She was up to a 6 under. She's going to bogey that one. Park Min-ji finishes with 32 on the front, 35 on the back, and a 5 under score. So-Yun. Well struck by her. Absolutely well struck by her. Park Hyun-kyung now. Picture of concentration. I think she should be fairly easy with that effort. And she isn't. Well, that's the most girl-like thing I've ever seen her do. Park Min-ji. She finishes her event. Well, she will also put that ball up there, which normally would be signed by her. Just a signed ball for people. Kim Soo-ji, 94 meters to the hole. The second stroke, she's still the joint leader. So by So-Yun, Park Hyun-kyung and Kim Soo-ji, now you've got three young golfers up there in a tied first. Lee Dong-sun, 7, Seo Yoo-jin, Lee Ji-young and Lee Ga-young tied fifth, while Ji-han Sol, Ryo Seung-hui, Park Ji-young are in tied ninth with one right at the bottom of that heap. Now, let's not forget most of those that were in the B plan have finished off their event. There are still a few left, but that, of course, was because they started off as the Dawn Patrol today. The rest of the golfers that clubhouse there. It looks very, very fancy. Nicely done, actually. I love those colors, as I said earlier. The WEMIX colors, of course, are purple. And this WEMIX Championship has been really interesting. As you can see, the crowds, well, there's so many of them that have turned up here. Most of them will gather around the clubhouse, but it's been a very, very interesting contest and really something, to watch for some of these golfers, of course, like Kyun Kyung, well, really looking to shine. It will be interesting to see how they come good in the event.
뒤에는 VIP 들어간 거 아이가? 사람들 별로 안 돼.
So Kim Min-sun just missing out on an eagle there. Park Hyun Kyung, can she nail a birdie here from that distance? Oh, that was close enough, you would have thought. So Kim Soo-ji going through a few worries here because she's got Park Hyun Kyung now who's on par with her. And it's brewing to be a real strong battle. And don't forget there's Bae So-yoon tied at the top too. Lee Dong-gyun aiming for eagle on hole 14. Can she do what the others didn't? Kim Min-sun just missing out on hers. Well, almost does it for her. If not an eagle, then a birdie to clean it up should do the trick. And that'll still get her points up. She's now joint leader with 5 under. It looks like this contest might be heading towards a tiebreaker at some time. By So-yoon. Aiming for birdie on hole 13, and that's well done. Which means she's going to take the lead here. Unlikely contestant. She had an eagle, 4 birdies in there, 1 bogey, sorry, 6 birdies. There's 1 bogey as well, and she's got herself up to that 6 under as the leader. Kim Min-sun 7, aiming for birdie on hole 14, and she'll get 1 too. Just like Lee Dong-gyun. She's up to 4 under now. Kim Soo-ji, a picture of concentration. Needs to plan every single shot that she's taking. She cannot afford to make any mistakes here today. She's just narrowly missed out. Narrowly missed out, I would say. Lee Ga-young goes next. She's got herself onto the green. Would have probably liked to have got a tad bit closer. Now here's Park Hyun Kyung. She aims to finish this, well, on par. And that's just going to pull her down a bit. Well, she herself can't believe it, so close. However did that happen? So that's going to drag her down to 4 under, a bogey there on the 12th, least expected. And here's the new leader by So Yun as she gets ready to tee off for hole number 14. Yun Ina looking to finish with a birdie on hole 17. She's at 7 under in the B-listers, leads the way. She was really the favorite for the WEMIX Championship, had the highest ranking coming in, looking resplendent in black today. Here's Kim Soo-ji. And just like a good friend, Park Hyun-kyung will bogey that to go down to a 4 under. Just to give you a little bit on the Hyundai Beach Golf and Resort, it's situated within the East Busan Osiria Tourist Complex. It's a great location with views of the sea and mountains, diversified into unit types and layouts to stay with the existing terrain. Now here's Lee Ji-young with her approach shot, and this was designed specifically as 9 private villa types with the concept of enjoying the fairway like a garden with a landscape just close to the clouds. To be fair, the Hirim architects and planners had a big part to play in this resort and golf course as well. Seo Yoo-jin with the 3rd stroke for hole 14. Lee Dong-gyun, 2nd stroke. And that's pretty much on to the carpet from her. Park Hyun-kyung will go next.
나이스.
Well, a good amount of wrist and forearm on that. You could hear the flick very strong there from Park Hyun-kyung. having a few lighter moments there
Diesel.
with her designated caddy. Meanwhile, here's Kim Soo-ji. As she tees off for hole number 13. Good bit of power behind that one from Kim Soo-ji. Seo Yoo-jin will aim for birdie on hole 14. It's quite a distance, 13 meters. Needs to chip it a little bit. Was always going to be a tough call for her. Yoo Hyun-jo now. Aim for birdie on hole number 18, and what a miss! What a miss for her. Would have liked to have done better, there's no doubt about it. Here's another golfer that really does, come out in sparks very often. Aims for eagle on hole 14. It's Lee Ga-young, 8.2 meters to the hole. And that's just going to curve away from it, but we'll still set her up for a birdie. It's a bit of a tricky hole here, 13. Remember that Park Hyun-kyung will actually bogey that, and so did Kim Soo-ji, which was quite amazing. Yes, Mada Som aims for birdie on hole number 18 to finish off, well, her day's event, and that's going to be a Cuban for her. So she will try and finish that off. Came really good in the SK Telecom to win a third event of the year, and had won her first event only in September. So very good finish there. 36 on the front, 33 on the back, and that's the end of the year with a 3 underscore in the WEMIX Championship for Mada Som. Lee Ji-young on to hole 14, aiming for birdie. And that ball definitely afraid of the dark. There's no doubt about it. She'd just tap it in for an even score. Choi Rim. She's on to her 18th hole as well. Carries a 5 under score. As she aims for birdie. And she finishes with a 6 under. She's a happy camper here. 33 on the front, 33 on the back. That's a very good score for the day. 6 under for Choi Rim. While it's back to Seo Yoo-jin. Needs to finish on par for hole 14. She wants to keep that score intact of 3 under. Well, just needed a little bit more of a banana curve on that. But she'll have to clean it up with a bogey. Yoo Hyun-jo finishes with an even score and a 7 under there. She goes along with Yoon Ina. Have done fairly well today. Park Hyun-kyung meanwhile with her approach shot. And it's going to be interesting to see how she can navigate through this one. Decent enough approach shot from her. So Park Hyun-kyung, while pushing it as well as she can. She's had her moments today, but she's actually been very good. And she's been in good spirit too. Now, along with Kim Soo-ji, both of them, well, almost neck and neck, but it's Bae So-yoon who's claimed the top spot for the time being. Kim Soo-ji with her approach shot now for hole number 13. Lee Dong-gyun on to a third stroke for hole 15. He's carrying a 5 under. Oh, what a narrow miss. That just skimmed the surface. And Lee Ga-yong has her own mission to follow for hole 14. It's a decent enough finish for her. Kim-min-sun 7 will finish with a birdie there, and she's slowly climbing up the order. She's at 5 under, in tied second now. 3 birdies there on the back 9 already. Came in with a very intense performance yesterday, and here are a few more golfers who finished off along with Choi Rim, and as we can see, there are 7 balls placed there, 8 to be precise now. The winner's ball, of course, goes in the center. Fans just delighted, to get a piece of memorabilia. So Bai Soo-yoon leads the way with 5 under. Kim Min-sun and Lee Dong-gyun are 5 under in tied second. Bai Soo-yoon has 6 under. Let's not forget that Lee Ji-yong is in 7th with 3 under. But it is this trio 4 under. So stay with us as we continue with our coverage of the WEMIX Championship. Lee Ga-young with a decent enough approach shot. And she's done fairly well. Here's Bai So-yun now. We'll aim for eagle on hole 14. That's a bit of a distance. If that finds its way through, it'll be the stroke of the day. But that'll just fall short. Almost a duff shot from Bai So-yun this time. But having said that, she still leads the way. Kim-min-sun 7. That's hole 16 for her. And that's well placed. Very well played, I would say, from Kim-min-sun 7. Ryo Seung-hui will nail a birdie on hole 14, and that's well done. Absolutely marvelous from her. Lee Dong-gyun. She's up to a 5 under. That's well struck by her. Excellent job being done here by Lee Dong-gyun. She was one of the golfers to watch in the last few events. Really came on strong. Missed out on winning events through the year, but that drone shot is absolutely stunning, isn't it? Gives you a view of the mountainside on the right and then the ocean side that it overlooks. Oh, it's absolutely stunning. And then the course itself right in front of you. I'd say one of the greatest ever inventions, not just for other purposes, but just for events like this, or to give you a view of scenic shots, aerial shots, without having to actually fly up in a helicopter or a plane. Drone shots, absolutely stunning. Bai So-yun aiming for birdie now. She missed out on an eagle here on hole 14. And that's just slipped out. Very unfortunate for her. She could have gone up the pecking order. She will finish that with an on par, but missed out on an eagle and a birdie by So-yun. Park Hyun-kyung gets the honors to tee off here. And that's for hole 14. .418 meters. Par 5 for the asking. And that ball is going to travel the distance, aided there by the slope. So well played by Park Hyun-kyung. Kim Soo-ji will go next. She tees off for hole 14. And that ball carrying itself all the way through. Just had a tad bit of a worry towards the end. that ball is petrified of the dark. Wasn't really expecting that, was she? Just a bit unfortunate for her. Meanwhile, here's Lee Ga-yong. Can she nail a birdie on hole 15? And that's just going to get slightly away from the destination. Very quickly, of course, must look back at some of the winners here who are still in the fray. Lee Ga-yong being one of them, having won the Lotte Open. But then you look at Park Hyun-kyung and what she's done, and she won consecutive, tournaments on the 23rd of June and the 30th of June. Lee won this out on the birdie. So Park Hyun-kyung first won the BC Card Han-kyung Ladies Cup. I was there for that. And then the McCall Mona Park Yongpyong Open. And that was back-to-back. She was in very good form during that June period. Failed to recreate that magic a couple of times over, but she's made her presence felt. Lee Ji-yong will finish with a birdie. So Park Hyun-kyung, along with Lee Ji-yong, one of the few, stars still left in there. And let's not forget, the big one is the fact that Park Hyun-kyung is one of the only, along with Kim Soo-ji, one of the only tournament winners who's still in. Yoon In-ah with a 7 under. She finishes with a birdie here on hole 18. She could finish top of the heap in that B list. She's just missed out on it. I do love her outfit. Very, very stylistic today. And keep in mind the fact that, of course, it's fairly cold, which is why she's got most of our golfers do have their, pullovers or polos on. But this has been a golfer who surprised us all year today. Came in, just flew under the radar for most part. Bai So-yoon, she's the leader here. Tees off for hole number 15 now. Remember, it's a par 4 for the asking, 321 meters to cover. The WEMIX Championship, of course, does go along with the WEMIX cryptocurrency, and it's fairly interesting to see, how well the prize money is distributed. But Park Hyun-kyung now 207 meters to the hole. She's carrying a 4 under score. And that ball just falling shy of hitting the green. She sits on the shoulder of it, and she's just surprised by it. Not too happy with it. Well, I wouldn't be either, but Yoon In-ah needs to finish this on par to keep that 7 under score. And yes, she does. Well, she was blemish-free today. Had about 6 birdies. She's got a great fan following, and fans have supported her really well ever since her comeback. And I think that spells for, how good the sporting fraternity can be. Park Ji-young, with her approach shot, will sit just outside the green as well. Kim Soo-ji next. It's been an interesting event so far, and a very tight affair between our golfers today. Kim Soo-ji onto her approach shot. That's knocked nice and easy. Well, as long as there's a strong bit of support here for our golfers, there's a lot that's possible. Lee Dong-gyun will aim for birdie on hole number 16. Remember, it's a par 4 for the asking. She'll just get past the target. By Soyun onto her approach shot. 116 meters to the hole. She's still the leader here. And that's well done. Kim-Min-sun 7 will aim for birdie on hole 16. And that's well done. Absolutely well done and very timely if you ask me. She is the joint leader now. What a performance from her. In spite of having 2 bogeys on that front 9. Kim-Min-sun 7 really shining bright. So Kim-Min-sun 7 and Bai So-yoon now lead the way with 6 under. Kim-Min-sun 7 has 2 holes to play. Bai So-yoon has 4. So it's going to be interesting to see, well, how she can finish off, well, her event here today. Kim-Min-sun 7. Park Ji-young. A third stroke for hole 14. Got herself close enough. Kim-min-sun 7 really charming the audiences today. Park Hyun-kyung, 18 meters to the hole. Will have to keep it careful if she needs to set herself up for a birdie. And I think she's done fairly well. Gives herself a fighting chance here. By Soyun next. Oh, that ball, definitely afraid of the dark for her, but I think she was so close to nailing it. Kim Soo-ji. Getting quite close. Lee Dong-gyun aiming for birdie on hole 17. Oh, that is so very close. Just a heart-stopping moment here for everybody. What a chance to have nailed that. Park Hyun-kyung next. She's done fairly well, set herself up for a birdie. So she's back up to that 5 under in tied third now. That unfortunate bogey on the 12th being her undoing. Kim-min-sun 7 aims for birdie on hole 17. She'll fall just shy of it. Ga-young. Oh, that was such a well executed shot, but unable to, well, find the way through. By Soyun next. She tees off for hole 16. They'll just get behind it quite strong. Here's Kim Soo-ji. That's a fine finish, a birdie for her, and she gets up to a tied third as well, along with Park Hyun-kyung. So these two young golfers certainly making a few waves here.
인터넷에 민경언니 너 치면
There goes Park Hyun Kyung now to tee off, winning the honors to do that. Well, Kim Soo-ji also birdied that, so she could have as well today. They're such different golfers when you look at Park Hyun Kyung and Kim Soo-ji, who are, of course, in the same group. Park Hyun Kyung, her follow through is always, she's got a bit of body movement, uses a waist and a torso, leans herself a bit into the drive, and then it's a very easy follow through, almost like, I've always said it, like a baseball player, or, you know, a hitter. But on the other hand, Kim Soo-ji has this, you know, semi follow through where she doesn't really go all the way with it, but keeps it fairly erect with a follow through. Park Ji-young, on the other hand, more traditional with the way that she approaches her tee off, and that's what I mean. Always perfect form from her. That stick will always swing back. She's such a seasoned golfer, such an experienced contender. It's quite interesting to see how well she performs here today. Kim Soo-ji now. She also had a birdie on the previous well hole. And that's what I meant, her follow through so very different. It's going to sail just a tad bit away from the destination. It's going to be interesting to see how well Bai So-yun now navigates through. ...127 meters to the hole. Well done there. Lee Ga-young tees off for hole number 17. She's carrying a 4 under. She's got herself onto the green, but put herself at a huge distance. Good bit of a lift from that one. Straight out onto the edge. There's Park Hyun Kyung back again. Once again, that different follow through as we spoke about it. But well placed, absolutely lovely approach shot from Park Hyun Kyung, and she should be pleased with that.
괜찮아.
Kim Soo-ji will get on next. Lifting that up fairly nice and easy. Gets it close enough to its the target. Beautiful aerial shot there once again. Let's quickly keep you updated with the current standings. Kim Min-sun 7, 1 hole to play for. She stands at the top with 6 under, joined by Bai So-yoon, who has 3 holes to play for, also with 6 under. Lee Dong-gyun, Park Hyun-kyung, and Kim Soo-ji are right behind in that tied, third with 5 under. And then you've got Lee Ga-yong in 6th with 4 under. Ji Han-sol, Seo Yoon-jin still have a lot to do. So very quickly, here it is. Kim Min-sun 7 and Bai So-yoon leaders with 6 under. Lee Dong-gyun, Park Hyun-kyung and Kim Soo-ji with 5 under, tapping at that top, and they are tied third. And then you've got Lee Ji-yong and Lee Ga-yong in tied 6th with 4 under. Ji Han-sol, Seo Yoon-jin, Ro Seung-gui and Park Ji-yong with 2 under in tied 8th. And Hwang Yumin, of course, did manage to get herself a 1 under score, and she currently is through hole 15. Still a few more holes to play for, still a bit more of golf left, and we're glad for that, because keep in mind the fact that this is the last competitive event of the year, which is out of the competition schedule, but is the WEMIX Championship, to find out who is Queen of the Hill or Queen Bee in the KLPGA 2024. So Yoon Na and Yoo Hyun Jo, of course, finishing top of the heap in that B listers with 7 under. Choi Rim finishing just behind them with 6 under, and then you had Choi Min Kyung, Park Min Ji, and Jong Yoon Ji, who finished with 5 under and tied 16th. Lee Won finished with 4 under in 19. Mada Som finished 20th in 3 under. Kim Min Byul and Jun Yi Sung with 2 under and 21. Bang Shin Sil is at 23rd with 1 under, and Park Ji-young was the only golfer to finish with a 1 over score, and she props up the rest of the 23 golfers. Park Hyun Kyung. Aims for birdie on hole number 15. A crucial one for her if she can nail it. And yes, she does. The victory lap for Park Hyun Kyung. Oh, that is such an amazing moment for her on hole 15 as she birdies it. Consecutive birdies now. And a 6 under for her. Oh, she's such a humble golfer. That excitement, so childlike. The victory lap, so needed at the right moment. So Park Hyun Kyung stepping it up here. She's up to 6 under. Meanwhile, Kim Soo-ji has her own battles to go through. Kim Soo-ji will aim for birdie on hole number 15. And that's just going to scale past the destination for her. By So-yoon, who's the joint leader now with Park Hyun Kyung, will aim for, well, a birdie on hole 16. She needs to chip that up and away, and we'll have to settle for an on-par score here. There's no doubt about it. Meanwhile, here's Kim-min-sun 7. One of the things that can really, well, keep you on your toes is how you perform at a given time, especially when you are in the lead. Here's Park Hyun Kyung getting ready to tee off. She won the honors to do that. It's hole number 16 for her. It's a par 4 for the asking, 374 meters. It's a bit of a tricky hole to navigate past. You've got to get yourself a good amount of distance on the fairways. And I think this time she's gone through with a huge follow-through. Really put a lot of swing into that.
볼이 많이 안 나와. 어금니만.
And by So-yoon, bogey is a 16, so she's down to a 5 under here. So Kim Soo-ji, well, time is running out for her as well as those holes close down. A beautiful water fountain right there in the midst of that lake-like structure. I do love that. Right, so Yun will go next as she tees off. Kim 7 looking for a birdie. It's never going to be easy, as we said earlier. Lee Dong-gyun carrying a 5 under, and that is such a confident putt. Oh, confidence will get you everywhere. Lee Dong-gyun in tied third. With that 5 under, she's done very well. So this contest is just heating up a tad bit. Jihan Sol will aim for birdie on hole 18. And what a miss. Well, if you can't get a birdie, you can always clean it up easy. Park Hyun-kyung, her approach shot for hole 16. She's the joint leader. Good word there from a caddy for her. Kim 7 looking to finish on top. So finish there for Lee Dong-gyun and Kim Min-sun. So Kim Soo-ji lands a very good approach shot here. by So-Yoon. So what an event here as our golfers now fill in that box. Remember the middle slot, which has that huge metal, frame around it, a circular frame that is actually meant for the winning golfer today. So well done here, Roh Seung-hui. A birdie on the 17 goes up to a 3 under.
자, 그럼 저희 죄송한데 휴대폰 무음으로 좀 변경해 주겠어요? 자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Park Hyun-kyung. Third stroke for hole 16. Needed to chip that out. She does get it onto the green. Might be at a bit of a distance. An on-par finish might be quite elusive for her here. And I think just living life a tad bit dangerously. That's a nice finish by So-Yoon, has bogeyed 16th and the 17th hole. Don't think, just put herself out of the contest practically. She's just got one hole left to play for. So Park Hyun-kyung has got a bit of distance to cover here. She's got to move very meticulously because she cannot afford to, actually get into, any sort of problems where she currently is. She's done fairly well for most part of this contest. Well, that's a fairly well executed shot. She needed to finish that fairly well, but I don't think she's going to be concerned too much. So a bogey there on the 16th will drag her down to a 5 under. She's now tied second. By Soyun. Well, just getting herself onto the rough, but that's not too detrimental. It's just away a couple of feet away from the fairway, so I don't think it's going to bother her too much. But Kim Soo-ji, now she'll have to keep herself in good stead and at her best, because any sort of faltering here will finish with her, well, dropping the points. Currently, she's 5 under, will aim for birdie on hole 16, and this could help her get ahead of her counterpart, well, Park Yoon Kyung, who's just dropped to 5 under. Oh, well played. Well played. Kim Soo-ji now back up on top as a joint leader there as she birdies the 16th. 2 more holes to play for, and it's getting more and more intense here. Well planned, just a gentle nudge and perfection there from Kim Soo-ji.
자, 플레이합니다.
Doing fairly well. You get a cheer from the crowd. Well played by Seo-Jin. Here's Ryo Seung-wi, 322 meters to the hole. Well, that second shot is so important because you've got to avoid, the sand bunker that was there on the way. And I think she's done that well, because your approach shot from the sand bunker can be a very a daunting task, and it's something I think that Ryo Seung-wi is very well aware of. Now off to Lee Ji-young, who's about to finish her day's event, aim for birdie, and what a miss! What a miss!
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Kim Soo-ji, now a joint leader there. Will go on with the 6 iron as she tees off 162 meters on hole 17. It's an interesting, hole to conquer.
카메라 분들이 뒤를 좀 눌러주세요.
it's so close. Lee Ga-young can't believe it. But she will finish off, and I think she'll be happy to have got that done. So Lee Ga-young, 33 on the front, 35 on the back, finishes, well, her year's efforts for 2024. Park Hyun-kyung is still at it.
자, 플레이 하겠습니다.
Park Hyun-kyung. It's a par 3 for the asking here on hole 17. That's a decent enough move as Lee Ji-young finishes with 33 on the front, 35 on the back, and a 4 under. Quick hug there for Lee Ga-young. Meanwhile, Bai So-yoon, who came so close to claiming it, well, still has a lot to achieve. Here she is with the 4 under. Second stroke for hole 18. Just a tad bit concerned. So Kim Soo-ji has her work cut out as well. Just looking back, well, at some of those highlights. Birdie there on hole number 1 for Kim Soo-ji. Then she got on to her second hole, where she also had, well, a fantastic, well, approach shot, got herself right plumb next to the flagstick before it was another birdie for her. Kim Soo-ji started off really on the front foot today. Then on the third hole, well, played that so well. Gets down to the fourth hole. Once again, a fantastic approach. Almost would have nailed that. Very flamboyant today. today from Kim Soo-ji. On the 5th hole, her approach shot again mattered, and she made it count absolutely well. There it was, another fine finish from her. Really doing exceptionally well here today, Kim Soo-ji. And then another birdie. She was just flying in leaps and bounds. On the 14th hole, as she attempted an eagle, but would finish off with a birdie. She's been stellar in her performance, birdied the 16th as well, and that's where she took the lead just ahead of Park Yoon Kyung. Here's Park Yoon Kyung, who just spoke about her. Aim for birdie on hole 17. It's a bit of a distance. That'll fall just shy of hitting the target, but I think she will work for it. Meanwhile, it's back to Bai So-yoon as she looks to finish her day's event. Her approach shot for hole 18 is an important one. That's well placed. Absolutely well placed.
또 옆에 윤대표인가 본데.
Kim Soo-ji. Oh, narrowly missing out on a birdie here. Park Yoon Kyung will carry on with her exploits. I think she missed out on a few birdies in these last couple of moments, and I think that was a bit of a concern for her. And as we get towards the end of some of the golfers' efforts, we shall find out where they stand. Ryo Seung-wi, we missed out on seeing her for a little bit, but Kim Soo-ji here looks to finish on par to keep that 6 under intact. Remember, she's on to hole number 17, and it's very important for her here. Well, she will keep that 6 under for the time being. Swung Yoo-min aims for birdie on hole 18. That'll be a fine finish for her, and yes it is. What a way to end her event. 36 on the front, 35 on the back, only 1 under for the count. She's had a whole lot of bogeys, but what a positive finish for such a wonderful golfer. Just what the doctor ordered, you would say, for all the fans. A chance here to get up close and personal with all our golfers. And getting ready to tee off for that last bit. It's Park Ji-young, Kim Soo-ji, and of course Park Hyun Kyung.
자, 사진 촬영 안 되십니다. 자, 플레이 하겠습니다.
카메라 소리 좀 안 나게 해주세요.
Kim Soo-ji gets ready to go first. It's got a good bit of power behind that right here for hole number 18. Remember, it's going to take a little bit from the golfers. They've got to play this hole fairly well. And Bai So-yun, who just peaked earlier while going through just a tad bit of a few worries ever since she had a slight stumbling block.
자, 플레이 하겠습니다.
So Park Hyun Kyung gets ready next. She tees off for hole 18. Packed a solid bit of power into that one. Ryo Seung-hui looking to finish on par for hole 18. She's carrying a 3 under. And I think she'd want to finish with that rather than have any negative. And yes, she does. So that's Ryo Seung-hui finishing a year's efforts. 35 on the front, 34 on the back, 3 under to finish with today. Bai So-yun will want to finish on par as well. Missed out on an opportunity at Glory. So she'll finish her event just missing out on claiming the Queen Bee position. 33 on the front, 35 on the back. It was her hat trick of bogeys in the back 9 that was her undoing. So the exodus will continue for our other golfers as they move on to see who will finish top of the heap. Kim Soo-ji, Park Hyun Kyung, and of course Park Ji-young. Park Ji-young dropping out of the race quite a while back. And there you see it, all those balls filling up. We've still got 5 spots vacant. All of them, of course, carried the signatures of the golfers who finished off their event. That includes Lee Dong-gyun, Yoon Ina, all the star golfers that we've had the joy of watching since yesterday. And really left to be seen how our final few golfers perform. Park Hyun Kyung gets ready next. Struck fairly well from her. Left to be seen how she now stacks up against Kim Soo-ji. Kim Soo-ji will go on to a second stroke. Remember, it's a par 5 for the asking, 493 meters. It's a fairly straight run towards the green, but you've just got to avoid that huge sand bunker that is there on the left, which can be a bit daunting. But otherwise, more or less, you've got yourself in good stead to find a way through. Here's Park Ji-young. The classic follow through from her. Plays very copybook golf. Park Ji-young. Doesn't veer too much away from the basics, and I think that's important. Kim Soo-ji, well, nearing that those final moments to find out how she and Park Hyun Kyung will finish off here. Keep in mind the fact that, as I said earlier, the other group member Park Ji-young dropping out of the race fairly early.
쉬운 게 하나도 없네.
Park Hyun Kyung will try and finish off what she can here. I could have said that it's a battle that's gone down to the wire, keeping in mind the fact that the points were more or less tied, but that hasn't been the case because well, just a slight faltering from Park Hyun Kyung earlier. Now that's fairly decently struck. I think this is very important here. as Park Yun Kyung now tries to navigate well her way through. As we said earlier, there can't be any mistakes left. Park Ji-young onto her third stroke for hole 18.
플레이하겠습니다.
Kim Soo-ji onto her third stroke. Well, that's beautifully placed, and that just might be a setup for a win. Kim Soo-ji is really at the top of her powers here today. Good bit of concentration. That was a very, very confident approach shot. She knew where she wanted to place it and placed it really beautifully. Now all eyes on her and Park Yun Kyung. Well, she's got to be very consistent now.
네, 여러분 제방의 파이널 A 마지막 조 선수들이 입장하고 있습니다. 먼저 2024 위믹스 포인트 랭킹 3위, KLPGA 통산 10승, 올 시즌 3승, 커리어 하이를 질주하고 있는 박지영 선수입니다. 다음은 2024 위믹스 포인트 랭킹 2위, KLPGA 투어 통산 7승, 올 시즌 3승, 큐티플 박현경 선수입니다. 네, 2024 위믹스 포인트 랭킹 4위, KLPGA 투어 통산 6승, 올 시즌 메이저 대회 하이트즐로 챔피언십 우승자 가을의 여왕 김수지 선수입니다.
Kim Soo-ji. She was the golfer that made the biggest impression here today. There's no doubt about it.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Park Ji-young will aim for birdie on hole 18. It's a bit of a distance for her. 11.1 meters to cover. But what a finish! And that's what you call a true champion, isn't it? 35 on the front, 34 on the back, a birdie on the 18th and a 4-under score. But Park Ji-young will finish her year in style. She's had a great year, reached the #1 ranking for the first time during the latter part of the season, won 3 tournaments this year. It's been a good event for her and she is so happy.
플레이하겠습니다.
Park Hyun Kyung will go next. Oh, what a miss. And that is a crucial miss for her. Which means she would have just probably handed that, well, contest now to Kim Soo-ji. Oh, that was so important for her to find the Tin Cup here. And that sigh from the crowd would have just said it all. And she knows it. But I do love the way that she does accept, you know, the highs and lows that she goes through in an event. Park Hyun Kyung displays a lot of character as a golfer on the course. She's got this, like Hwang Yumin, she's got this girl next door kind of disposition whenever she plays. Gets really excited when things go well, gets really down when things don't. But she does accept it gracefully. Kim Soo-ji now, it's all left to her. Will she finish as Queen Bee of the WEMIX Championship? Well, when this event started off in the WEMIX leaderboard rankings, 3.1 meters to the hole for a birdie. She's currently joint leader, Kim Soo-ji. Can she finish it? And she's just missed out on that as well. That's very interesting. Let's take a quick look at how the rankings stood. So Kim Soo-ji was second on the leaderboard rankings with 10.40 ranking points, 541 points out of 52 events, and she was just behind Yoon Ina. She'll finish there with an on-par finish and a 6 under score, 31 on the front, 35 on the back 9. Park Hyun Kyung, on the other hand, was way down the order at number 6 with 8.70 points and 496 total points from 57 events. So Kim Soo-ji, one of the star front runners in this event, and then Park Ji-young was at number 3 with 10.17 ranking points and 529 points accrued from 52 events. So just to be fair, this last trio, Kim Soo-ji was number 2 on the leaderboard rankings, Park Ji-young at number 3 and Park Hyun Kyung at number 6. Yoon Ina, of course, fell out yesterday when she moved into the B-listers, and she finished top of that heap today. But here we go. Park Hyun Kyung. And she manages to finish that on par as well. So in tied third, 32 on the front, 35 on the back 9. Quick hug there for Park Ji-young and Kim Soo-ji. And what an event it has been, of course, for Kim Soo-ji. Let's get a quick look at how those finished off. So Kim Soo-ji and Park Minson-7, who was not even in that top 10 ranking in the leaderboard. It's going to be quite an interesting finish here. Very quickly, of course, our golfers will tally up their scores.
볼까요?
예,
424, 433, 444.
예,
335, 443, 535.
예. 감사합니다. 예.
수전이 불러드리겠습니다. 323, 433, 454. 345, 444, 335. 나도 핸드폰. 팔수 어디 갔어?
안녕하세요.
퍼트 안 적어도 되죠? 퍼트 안 적어도 되죠? 안 적었는데.
So our golfers quickly tallying up those points. Park Hyun Kyung narrowly missing out when she, of course, had a bogey in there in those last few holes.
네, 쓰렸는데.
교수 입금 3일 3월 6일.
네.
경력 3일 3월 67.
네.
네, 수고하셨습니다.
수고하셨습니다.
세이프님은 바로
네.
긴장 이동합니다.
And Park Ji-young is all smiles as she places that last ball in there. So that tiebreaker now, because we've got two golfers still to go who have to still sign the golf ball and place it in there. One will go into the center and one towards the end rightfully. Kim Soo-ji, well, still playing her best here. Well, that's beautiful, isn't it? I'd love to get that box. Park Hyun-kyung, as she moves on to place that ball in there. Well, she does bring such a bit of grace to this contest, doesn't she? And she's posed well for the camera. So Kim Soo-ji has still not, well, put her signed ball in there. And they want a side view of her placing the ball, I guess. Just think of those camera stabilizers that you can use today to get a straight shot. And what a crowd, what a beautiful crowd here. Absolutely love it. It's always great to play to the audience, even if you're a golfer, even if you require, and golf fans understand that, isn't it? There's always dead silence when they have some serious, well, shots to take. And here goes Kim Soo-ji.
네, 잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 연장 승부가 끝나고 이곳 18번 홀 그린에서 시상식이 진행될 예정입니다. 시상식이 종료된 후에는 갤러리 경품 추첨 순서가 있으니까요. 끝까지 자리를 지켜주시길 바랍니다.
So Kim Soo-ji will take the buggy. Was one of the favorites in this event as well, Kim Soo-ji, and she's performed extremely well, performed up to expectations.
운전수가 없어. 있어.
커트 이동하겠습니다.
Kyun Kyung sending some out to the fans. Well, that's a happy bunch, aren't they? And she's still got a few more to share while our two golfers move on to the tiebreaker. So Kim-Min-Sun 7 and Kim Soo-ji in the playoff here. It's going to be a very interesting one as they get back to the 18th hole. It's a par 5 for the asking.
계속해서 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 지금 스탠드석에 계신 갤러리 여러분, 일어나시면 좌석이 위험할 수 있으니 꼭 앉아서 참고해 주시길 부탁드리겠습니다. 다시 한번 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 지금 스탠드석에 계신 갤러리 여러분, 일어서서 움직이시게 되면 좌석이 위험할 수 있습니다. 계속 앉아서 자리를 지켜주시길 부탁드리겠습니다.
언니 안녕하세요. 수고하셨습니다.
Kim-Min-Sun 7, the unlikeliest of the golfers, who scaled past most of the big guns here today. What a performance it's been from her. She's done it silently, no flash, just kept at it. And Kim-Min-Sun 7 and Kim Soo-ji, the two Kims who will now play off for who will reign as queen of the KLPGA 2024. What an event this is turning out to be in the end.
왼쪽 좀 넓게 써도 되지 않나?
벙커 안 빠져 거리가. 벙커까지 안 가?
Kim-Min-Sun gets ready to tee off. 493 meters is what we are looking to cover in a par 5 for the asking. Struck fairly well on the fairways. Shouldn't be too much of an issue.
카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
Kim Soo-ji will go next. And that's well struck. Both golfers doing their level best here now. bogeys will help them, of course, get a move on as quick as possible. So the long trudge with the buggies, and almost reminds you of those little play sets you would have had when you were younger.
너무나 의미가 깊은 세레머니인데요. 올 시즌 마지막 대회, 마지막 영광의 순간이 담긴 위믹스 챔피언십 2024 더 라스트 골 액자를 추첨을 통해서 단 한 분께 증정이 된다고 합니다. 지금 바로 리퍼블릭에서 참여하실 수 있습니다.
So Kim Soo-ji and Kim-Min-sun 7 get on to their last efforts to determine how they will finish off this year. This approach shot could be so important. 301 meters to the hole. It's not really an approach, but it's that second shot where you've got to scale past that sand bunker. And it's a very important one as well. So how you set it up for that final finish is so important. Keeping yourself on the fairways. Kim-Min-sun 7. Kim Soo-ji goes next. And she's gained herself a good bit of ground here. So what a performance from these two golfers as they battle it out for who will finish, well, top of the heap.
아니 컨테너 안 해놨다는데 추워서 불 끄지 말라는데.
Park Hyun-kyung, Yoon Ina, all the rest of the golfers who had such an amazing year. Well, this is probably the last time that they get together before they see each other next year, unless some of them, of course, will live close by, keep in touch. But it's that time when golfers will take a break. Remember, the Christmas season will be coming up soon, and great performances from all these golfers. It was such a delight to have watched them in action right through the year. Kim Soo-ji, what a performance from her as well.
차생인 건가 보다. 버페이드 선
그 무슨 2, 3등 이렇게 나와요.
아니 몰랐어. 근데 위에 차 있어요? 아니 저기만 보이니까 나 못 들었는데. 7등이 그 앞에 있었는데? 내가 그래서
아니 언니 여기 뽑았어. 나 여기 앉을래.
아 여기 앉아요 여기 앉아요. 하나 남았네.
So all eyes on these two golfers as they get into their final bits.
나는 7%를. 저는 6컨 치고 싶긴 해요. 근데 안전하게는 6컨이 낫게요. 압이 있으면 압이.
And I think it's going to be very important to figure out who will come out top of the heap here. So just practicing a swing before she can get into it. Here's Kim-Min-sun 7. Now that struck nice and hard. Oh, what a placement! What a stunning placement there from Kim-Min-sun 7. And this is exactly, well, the recipe for success. Now it's all left to, well, Kim Soo-ji. That is such a stunning approach shot. And that could be the deal breaker here. Kim Soo-ji, 91 meters to the hole. What can she come up with? I think that's the big question here. Well, just a tad bit away. She'll have to work a bit more. But I think Kim-Min-sun 7 has got herself into a very strong position for a birdie. Kim Soo-ji just a tad bit away. Place that well. And she can still earn it and push it into another playoff. That's a good amount of cheer from, well, not rivals, but co-competitors. That's what you'd call them. Kim-Min-sun 7. Well, she's all smiles today. She's been at the top of her game.
아니야 올해 안에 팔 수 있어. 올해 안에 팔면 세금 신고를 안 해.
Well, this is such a crucial play now, especially for Kim-Min-sun 7. She's got to come out with her best.
저도 한 번.
난안 팔았는데.
올해는 무조건 팔아. 심했어?
언니 지금 거의 4천 원 떨어졌어.
오마이갓. 1일날 아침에 새벽에 일어나가지고 잘 팔았다. 그 시간에 아침에 알람 맞춰. 잠복 꼭 알려줘. 알았지?
And it has got fairly chilly. Remember I said it was 17 degrees. Well, that's just dipped a little bit. So our golfers still have a lot to, well, weather in terms of how chilly it is. Well, we are approaching that, evening time. So Kim Soo-ji will go first as she aims for birdie on hole 18. It's a bit more of a distance for her. Well, this has to be a really well played putt. All eyes on her now. And just narrowly missing out on a birdie here. That's unfortunate for her. And if Kim-Min-sun 7 nails a birdie here, she will finish as Queen of the Hill. So all eyes now on Kim-Min-sun 7. As I said earlier, what a crucial moment this is turning out to be. And can she finish it and avoid another tiebreaker? I think that's the big question here. Kim Min-sun, it's not a big distance, but has to keep her composure. And that's well played. That is well played. Kim Min-sun 7, pretty much the dark horse in the WEMIX Championship, has galloped all the way across the victory line as she finishes as the top-ranked golfer in the WEMIX Championship run. What an event for her. And so needed, so much needed. Well, Kim Soo-ji had won a few events in the year. And so had many of the other golfers. But Kim Min-sun 7, one of those few who did not win a tournament this year. But here she is, finishing at the top of the heap. She wasn't even in the top 10 in the WEMIX rankings. But she has done extremely well to claim the spoils. And that's the winning putt. The winning putt that did it all. What a fabulous finish here from Kim Min-sun. And that's going to be one to remember. Kim Soo-ji, of course, excited for, well, her counterpart. And that's a good thing about our golfers here. They always have a good bit of cheer for each other. So what a winning moment. So Kim Min-sun 7 will have a few words to say. Do stay with us, don't go anywhere, because we've still got the prize presentation. So what a glorious finish here for Kim-Min-sun 7. Still awaiting a turn to top 2. And Kim Soo-ji has placed her ball in, which means there's only one left to be placed, and that's the one that will go into the center. Kim-Min-sun 7, well, just signing hers. Kim-Min-sun 7.
골고루 봐주세요. 골고루. 볼 집어넣으면 됩니다. 그다음에 마지막 챔피언 자리에 넣는 거 촬영 진행할게요. 자, 이거 먼저 찍을게요. 자, 손 대시고요. 카메라 봐주시고요. 손 같이 대주시고. 파이팅 가겠습니다. 파이팅.
So finally, that winning spot taken up.
좋습니다.
네, 잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다.
목 넣는 거 한 번만 더 찍을게요. 자, 뺐다가.
잘하시는 이곳 18번 그린에서 영광의 순간을 해주시길 바라겠고요. 후에는 우승자 김민선 선수가 직접 갤러리 델탕 경품을 추첨할 예정이오니 끝까지 자리해 주시길 바라겠습니다.
So Kim-Min-sun 7 and Kim Soo-ji tied there with 6 under. Kim-Min-sun 7 finishing with that birdie on the 18th. Lee Dong-gyun and Park Hyun-kyung in tied 3rd. And then you've got that tied 5th with Lee Ji-young and Lee Ga-young. What an event this has turned out to be. Really something worth talking about. Really something worth looking at and figuring out how beautifully these golfers have performed here today. So Yoon Na and Yoo Hyun Jo finishing top in that, B category today. All are happy golfers. Well, as they await the final presentation. That is the money shot. Well, all the golfers in there, the top 24 golfers who took part in the WEMIX Championship, that is one for the memory books. It's also one to be well stowed. Each of them will get a copy of it too. It also goes up. You will see it in the KLPGA gallery. Let's not forget, as they surround the golf balls that are signed and placed in there. And that's the WEMIX Championship, much coveted. And if you were wondering, well, about the WEMIX Championship, keep in mind the fact that, well, the prize money for the WEMIX Championship is so very important. Because the 16th WEMIX Championship was valued at 250,000 WEMIX, which is about 275.25 million won. Keep in mind the fact that WEMIX is a cryptocurrency. The value of the WEMIX, the cryptocurrency, that goes to the winner, similar to the prize money of the KLPGA Tour major tournament. So keep in mind the fact that even though it's cryptocurrency, it's a huge amount of money. 275.25 million won is the equivalent. And that was the winning putt. So the prize money is actually $196,622 US dollars, the equivalent from WEMIX currency converted.
안녕하세요. 네, 감사합니다. 네. 일단은 오늘 중반에 좀 잘 안 풀렸었는데 그래도 끝까지 집중해서 마지막까지 좋은 결과 만들어낼 수 있어서 저한테 너무 뜻깊은 대회인 것 같아요. 네. 네. 맞아요. 저는 사실 너무 행복한 연장이었던 것 같아요. 저는 일단은 팁박스 가면서부터 계속 그냥 캐디 오빠랑 편하게 치자라고 생각하고 계속 웃고, 그리고 또 제가 한 선택 믿고 치고 그게 너무 잘 맞아 떨어진 것 같아서 너무 뿌듯한 연장입니다. 네. 연장 들어가기 전까지는 조금 떨렸어요. 좀 떨려가지고 이제 막 엄마한테도 좀 떨린다라고 얘기도 했었었는데, 그냥 엄마가 좀 즐기고 와라, 어차피 마지막이고 이벤트 경기이기도 했는데 그래 좀 즐기고 너가 많이 웃으면서 쳤으면 좋겠다라고 얘기를 해서 계속 그 마지막 연장하면서는 계속 웃었던 것 같아요.
드리겠습니다. 잠시 후 시상식이 시작될 예정입니다. 모두 잠시만 대기를 부탁드리겠습니다.
네. 어제는 사실 이나도 너무 잘하는 선수여가지고 제가 버디를 하면은 그냥 비기고 가더라고요. 그래서 최대한 좀 샷으로 많이 찬스를 많이 만들어야지 제가 조금 더 이길 수 있겠다라는 생각도 많이 했고요. 그리고 또 그만큼 샷도 잘 됐고, 그리고 또 사실 1등이랑 한 경기인데 저는 이제 순위로 따지고 보면 25등이었잖아요. 그래서 좀 오히려 저한테는 편한 경기였던 것 같아요. 네. 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 맞아요. 하고 싶었던 이야기. 일단은 저희 부모님 계속 믿고 기다려주셔서 너무너무 감사하고, 제가 최근 하반기 들어와서 성적이 좀 별로였는데 이 대회를 좀 잘하고 싶어서 이 대회에 초점을 맞춰서 많이 준비를 했거든요. 근데 그게 좀 잘 맞아 떨어진 것 같아서 너무 행복하고, 그리고 또 제가 이 대회를 집중할 수 있도록 같이 노력해주신 저희 프로님, 로직의 김기현 프로님, 하정주 프로님께
잠시
너무너무
안내
감사하다는
말씀드리겠습니다.
말씀을 꼭 드리고 싶어요.
우승자의 인터뷰가 끝나는 대로 곧바로 시상식이 시작될 예정입니다. 모두 조금만 더 대기를 부탁드리겠습니다.
일단은 내년을 위한 준비를 겨울에는 좀 단단히 할 것 같아요. 제가 올해는 작년에 준비를 잘 해서 좋은 결과를 전 냈다고 생각하는데, 내년에는 올해보다 조금 더 좋은, 저는 제 목표는 일단 시즌 3승이거든요. 그래서 네, 그걸 위해서 조금 더 노력하는 겨울이 될 것 같습니다. 네, 감사합니다. 네, 감사합니다. 네.
Chance to meet all the fans. Or rather, a chance for the fans to meet all their favorite golfers. And what a moment it is. So here we have some of the highlights. Remember, Bai So Yun was one of the top movers in this event. And that lovely birdie that she gave us. Sorry, that was an eagle. It was an eagle on the third hole. And she was really flying high. Definitely, it was bound to be one of the winners. Then on the 7th hole as well, we had Park Yun Kyung, who was coming out all. So there were so many golfers who really shone bright here today. Kim Soo-ji on that 7th hole, she nailed a birdie, and she was really the big mover. Kim Min-sun, look at that. The first 5 birdies, then of course on hole number 7 a birdie as well. So in that first 7 holes, she had 6 birdies. Then on the 12th hole, it was Kim Min-sun, 7, who started to shine bright. She was down the pecking order with just 2 under at the time. What a massive change after this particular birdie for her. Had 2 bogeys in there as well on that first 9. Then on the 16th hole, Kim Min-sun 7 again. Well, came very good with a lovely finish. So 4 birdies there, a hat-trick of them as well in that back 9. On the 15th hole, Park Yun Kyung, who was really challenging, Kim Soo-ji and Kim Min-sun. And she had that victory lap. It was such a lovely finish for her. Then on that 18th hole, Kim Min-sun, 7, finishing well enough to get that 6 under score. Meanwhile, on the 17th hole, things wouldn't be so good for Bai So Yun, as she missed out and fell out of the race. So things would change from here on. And Kim Soo-ji managed to keep herself in good stead as she birdied the 16th. This was a huge worry for Park Yun Kyung. Pretty much she knew that she had dropped out of the race here. She was at 5 under. Had she birdied it, it would have been a three-way playoff. And Kim Soo-ji, well, missing out on one as well, but she managed to finish with an on par to keep herself in that tied position. And in the first playoff, there wasn't any after that, but this was really the deal breaker. Kim Minson-7, what a perfect placement. That approach shot just set it up for a win. It was such a wonderful bit of play from her. Kim Soo-ji did get close, but not close enough. She was still at a tad bit of a distance and would have missed out on a birdie here. There went Kim Soo-ji once again, just past the target. And the winner, just a gentle curve, but Kim Minson-7, Queen of the KLPGA 2024. And what a glorious event this has been, the WEMIX Championship. Well, once again, you know, more power to all the golfers. I must mention our entire production team, led by John Kim, that have done such a wonderful job of taking this through. And as we get to the prize presentation, let's remind you, all the cameramen who worked behind the scenes, all the editors, you know, all thanks to them. It's been great from them. So the WEMIX Championship.
최상의 코스를 가꾸어 주신 해운대 비치 골프 리조트의 박명진 회장님을 소개합니다. 박수 부탁드립니다. 다음은 생동감 넘치는 방송을 만들어주신 SBS골프 이상근 대표님이십니다. 박수 부탁드립니다. 자, 마지막으로 위믹스 챔피언십 2024 대회를 이끌어주신 위메이드 이민진 이사님 참석하셨습니다. 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 이번에는 이어서 올 한 해 KLPGA 투어에서 가장 빛난 선수분들을 모셔볼 텐데요. 선수분들께서는 단상 중앙으로 이동해서 이 대회장을 찾아주신 갤러리 여러분을 향해 감사의 인사를 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 자, 그럼 KLPGA 투어 탑랭커 24명의 최정예 선수들을 모시겠습니다. 큰 박수로 환영해 주시길 바랍니다.
So all our golfers will move up to accept the honors. We spoke of the money shot where all the golfers got together for a picture. Well, we're going to have another one here. It has to be a fairly wide angle, I think.
이 갤러리 여러분께 감사하는 마음을 담아 밝게 손을 흔들어 주세요. 네, 인사하는 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 네, 선수들이 모두 모였습니다. 갤러리 여러분 향해서
Kim Minson-7 would have to be there in the center.
올 한 시즌 정말 고생 많으셨습니다. 이 시즌을 빛내준 KLPGA 투어 탑랭커 24명의 최정예 선수들이었습니다. 네, 모두 감사합니다. 이렇게 참석해주신 모든 선수분들께서는 이제 본인의 안내에 따라 자리로 이동을 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 정말 올 시즌 KLPGA 투어를 멋지게 빛내준 탑랭커 24명의 최정예 선수들이 한 자리에서 여기 계신 갤러리 여러분 모두에게 감사의 인사를 전했습니다. 이렇게 위믹스 챔피언십 2024 선수들과 함께하는 또 뜻깊은 순서도 만나봤고요. 다음으로는 본격적인 시상식을 이어가도록 하겠습니다. 자, 먼저 위믹스 포인트 랭킹 1위 시상이 있겠습니다. 위믹스 포인트는 KLPGA 투어 정규 시즌 동안 대회 성적을 점수로 환산해서 올 한 해 투어에서 가장 활약한 선수를 뽑는 누적 포인트 랭킹 제도인데요. 시상에는 SBS골프 이상근 대표님께서 수고해 주시겠습니다. 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시길 바랍니다.
So Yun Ina, who finished well, top of the heap, she had the most ranking points as well.
발표하겠습니다. 2023 시즌 레이스
She's been a fantastic performer, ranked 1.
위믹스 포인트 랭킹 1위는 윤이나 선수입니다. 축하합니다. 뜨거운 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
90,000 WEMIX, well, currency, that's what she will get.
위믹스가 수여되겠습니다. 여러분 축하의 박수를
She was top of the
보내주세요.
rankings with the least amount of events played, and we saw that at the start. She had 12.06 ranking points, 422 overall points from just 25 events. So Yun Ina, very consistent with her performances in all the events that she took part in. What a great comeback from her, and more power to her.
랭킹 1위 윤이나 선수를 만나봤습니다. 자, 그럼 지금부터 위믹스 챔피언십 2024 영광의 우승자 시상을 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 시상에는 아미 에우제니 전지현 대표님, 해운대 비치 골프 리조트의 박명진 회장님, 위메이드 이민진 이사님께서 수고해 주시겠습니다. 자, 이번 대회에는 우승자에게 주어지는
김민선
부상이
7.
굉장히 많은데요. 영광의 우승자에게는 아미 에우제니 1,200만 원 상당의 고급 시계, 바디 프렌드 헬스케어 로봇, 한우자조금관리위원회 최고급 한우 고기 세트가 부상으로 수여됩니다. 그리고 대회 트로피와 우승 상금 25만 위믹스가 수여되겠습니다. 자, 그럼 발표하겠습니다. 위대한 승리를 향한 위대한 여정의 피날레, 2024 시즌 최후의 챔피언 위믹스 챔피언십 우승자는 김민선 선수입니다. 축하드립니다. 여러분 뜨거운 박수를 보내주시죠. 지금 위믹스 챔피언십 2024 우승자 김민선 선수가 챔피언으로 오릅니다. 뜨거운 박수.
So here's the champion of the WEMIX Championship. Well, the top-ranked player may have been Yun Ina, but the one to win it earlier in the WEMIX Championship and to claim the prize money, the WEMIX currency, it is Kim-Min-sun 7. What a great finish from her.
수고해 주시겠습니다. 1,200만 원 상당의 고급 시계를 증정해 드립니다. 뜨거운 박수 보내주시죠.
And that is something that I absolutely love.
고급 시계를 선물로 전달하고
A state-of-the-art watch.
여러분 축하의 박수 보내주시죠.
That is, well, it's every lad's pet peeve, isn't it? So here we go, the champion. And that's,
김민선 선수와 전지현 대표님과 함께 기념 사진
well,
촬영이 진행되고
the
있습니다.
40 million, is that the cryptocurrency? I guess that is, but what a beautiful finish.
모두 수고 많으셨습니다.
And so amazing to have family, friends and fans around to cheer you on.
헬스케어 로봇을 시상해 주시겠습니다. 자, 우승자의 부상 바디 프렌드 헬스케어 로봇을 전달하고 있습니다. 축하의 박수 보내주시죠.
Well, the different sponsors that took part.
자, 연장 접전 끝에 챔피언에 등극했습니다. 김민선 선수 다시 한번 축하의 말씀을 전합니다. 네, 박명진 회장님 감사합니다. 자, 다음은 위메이드 이민진 이사님께서 우승 상금과 트로피를 시상해 주시겠습니다. 먼저 우승 상금을 수여하도록 하겠습니다. 뜨거운 박수 보내주시길 바랍니다.
That's the 250,000 WEMIX currency that I did mention earlier.
네, 감사합니다. 자,
That's just a little under 200,000 US dollars. So I think 186 or 87.
챔피언십 2024 우승 트로피를 전달해 주시죠.
Because it's 2.75 million Korean won equivalent. But here we have it. The WEMIX Championship, Kim-Min-sun 7 did not win a tournament in the year, but here she is capping it off with one outside the schedule of the KLPGA, but one that matters, where 24 of the top golfers participated against each other for the right to be the topmost golfer at the end of the year. And here she is, 김민선7, a very well-deserved and worthy win.
들고 챔피언 로드의 정상으로 이동해 주시길 바랍니다. 여러분 뜨거운 박수로 축하를 보내주시죠. 자, 김민선 선수가 지금 챔피언
And that's one for the photo books.
올라왔습니다. 자, 이제 세레머니를 진행할 텐데 진행하는 방법에 대해서 설명을 드리겠습니다. 김민선 선수는 제가 김민선
It will be a moment to cherish for Kim-Min-sun 7 as well.
들어올려 주시면 되겠습니다. 준비되셨죠? 자, 위대한 승리를 향한 위대한 여정. 위믹스 챔피언십 2024 우승자 김민선 선수입니다.
And that is the money shot. That is the money shot at the end of the event. Beautifully done. Bit of confetti in the air as well. And that will cap off, of course, our entire KLPGA activity for this year. Once again, a big shout out to the entire production team led by John Kim, to all the cameramen, to the KLPGA for putting together a wonderful event, and for the WEMIX Championship for this last and great event. My name is Glenn Mascarenas. Thank you for being with us right through the year. I'll be back with you next year. Happy holidays and have a lovely end of the year break. But for me, it's time to say bye-bye for now. Catch you in 2025.
카메라 봐주시고요. 손 같이 대주시고. 화이팅 가겠습니다. 화이팅.